The regional spillover from the war on Gaza has involved not only Lebanon, but Iran as well. The decades-long shadow war between Iran and Israel has intensified since October the 7th. Israel accuses Iran of supporting groups such as Hamas and Hezbollah to attack its interests, and in turn, it has carried out hits on Iranian targets. In April, an attack on the Iranian consulate in Damascus killed a senior Revolutionary Guard commander. 2 weeks later, Iran launched 300 drones and missiles towards Israel, its first direct attack from Iranian soil. Days after that, 3 drones were downed over central Iran in what was believed to be an Israeli retaliation. And in July, Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, was assassinated while in Tehran. The guest house that he was sleeping in was rocked by an explosion during his visit for the Iranian president's inauguration. Just days ago, Tehran fired about 200 missiles at Israeli territory in response to several Israeli assassinations. The U.S. said that the attack was twice the scope of that in April. Israel has promised a severe response. Iran has said that it would not hold back in that scenario. Abbas Aslani is a senior research fellow at the Center for Middle East Strategic Studies. You're joining us, sir, by Skype from Tehran. Abbas, it's good to you. Iran is nothing if not calculated in its rapport, in its relationship with Israel. Can you explain to us what the calculation is, generally speaking, and whether it has changed in the past week?
Cyril, normally what you heard from Tehran was a strategic patience in case of, significant developments or some measures done against the country. But it's been a couple of weeks that we have been hearing that there could be a departure from this policy, meaning that, there were arguments between different political factions in the country. One would say that responding to Israel is falling into the war trap of Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. The other faction would argue that no response will be a trap that, will invite further attacks against the country. But in the past 10 days or the past week, we have been hearing from those political factions calling for unity in the face of an external threat. And this indicates that maybe the situation this time is a bit different comparing to the last April. And it seems that discussions have been made concerning any action by Israel. And the country seems to be preparing even for a broader conflict, because the calculus here in Tehran is that no response has emboldened Israel in order to go further, and even trying to reach a kind of a political resolution like negotiations or talks with Western parties or those in the region would not suffice. And this will make Israel more emboldened in order to continue ahead. And Israel will not stop. As it didn't stop in Gaza, it will not stop in Lebanon, and it will try to conduct different actions in Syria or other countries in the region, or directly target Iranian interests inside the country or in the region.
Abbas, Iran wields influence across the region through a number of groups that it supports in various ways and to varying degrees. And some of those groups, specifically Hamas and Hezbollah, are under direct attack from Israel and have been severely weakened. How does Tehran factor that in?
Cyril, Tehran sees this part of a long battle, and you cannot judge the situation based on a daily basis, developments. But you have to see the bigger picture. There has been back and forth, specifically recently. Israelis trying to have some tactical gains, but it has been very, difficult for them in order to translate them into strategic, achievements. Israel was not able to meet and to achieve its objectives, specifically in Gaza. And what is happening from the other parts, including Iran's allies in the region, is in relation to the war in Gaza. They want to put pressure on Israel in order to accept a ceasefire. However, in this battle, so it is not just that you always will have gains, but you can also suffer losses, as we have been recently, witnessing. But this is not
Okay.
the end of it. And recently, we have been seeing that Iran has been trying to somehow impact the situation that Israel tried to, create and
Okay.
portray itself as the one having the upper hand. But this is, I think, subject to change, as we have been seeing through the missile attack against Israel
I'm going to
or
have to run,
the
Abbas.
actions done by Hezbollah recently. I think the situation is changing.
Okay, Abbas Aslani, Senior Research Fellow at the Center for Middle East Strategic Studies. Thank you very much.